Andy, do you think Britain's full?
No, I don't. And speaking as Shadow Health Secretary, I know that the National Health Service depends upon staff trained from around the world. There's not a family in this country whose members have not been treated by a clinician trained out with these shores, and we will continue to need to rely on bringing in those clinical staff from around the world. I don't believe Britain is full. But I do believe we need better answers on immigration than we've had as a party in the past. This party can't keep on avoiding people's eyes on the doorstep when the issue comes up. For me, the biggest issue is EU migration. It's often Labour areas where housing is cheapest that undergo huge change that can happen very quickly, that can lead to people's wages being undercut, and can also lead to pressure on public services, the GP services and schools. I think we need changes as part of the EU referendum, changes to protect the going rate so that wages can't be undercut, and more help for those communities most affected by migration. You know, they're left to deal with the consequences at the moment. They get no help from Westminster or Brussels. They feel forgotten, so therefore they go towards UKIP. We need a balanced approach to immigration. And just to add, we also need to play our part in dealing with the migrant crisis in Calais. This party, as well as standing for fairness in terms of EU migration, should play its part in accepting a number of proven refugees as part of a European approach to dealing with this issue.
How many?
Well, you asked that question. As a Home Office Minister, I signed the UNHCR Gateway Agreement, which is when Britain agreed to take refugees, and we took 200 or 300 in that period. I would say we should take more than that to deal with this situation, probably towards the thousands, because Germany and Scandinavia are taking many more people. Look at Greece. How on earth do we expect Greece to deal with that situation, with everything else they've got on their plate at this moment in time? It's not right. We should have a balanced approach to immigration, but welcome in those who are fleeing persecution, as we have always done, and not be fearful of what the Tory press might say about that.
Let's just talk hard political practice here then. What you've just described would effectively mean signing up to the sort of agreement that is being discussed currently by France and Germany, Angela Merkel and François Hollande. This could easily be presented, let's say this is presented on the front pages tomorrow, as Andy Burnham believes that Britain's migration policy should be agreed at European level. Let the Europeans decide.
No,
what is your, just explain to me, to the voter, to the swing voter in Telford or Nuneaton, someone who voted Labour maybe in 2010, voted Conservative in 2015, who doesn't trust Labour on immigration, partly perhaps because of all the reasons you explained about public services, but also partly because they feel the very character of the country has changed. That's an emotional reaction they have. From everyone on the panel, can you please explain to that person why they should trust Labour?
We have to separate out the issues, Rafael, don't you? Non-EU migration runs to different rules, and to answer what Anne was saying at the beginning, yes, there need to be clear rules there about who can come in and who can't, and the way that is handled. Okay. But then separately, you've got to look at EU migration. I've mentioned that. We need to see changes in the rules so that Europe doesn't lead to people feeling their jobs, their wages, their communities are changed unfairly. But then thirdly, asylum is another completely different issue. And yes, a European approach to it, where all of the countries of the EU agree to play their part to help Italy and Greece and to spread the load across Europe. I am quite clear about that. That is what we should be doing.